question there. This will be an interesting discussion, and I hope you'll all contribute to this. So yes, fine, he's omnipresent, he's all pervasive. Sridhar was talking about this all-encompassing being who is all pervasive. So here is my question: if Brahman is all pervasive, how can he have a form? If something is all pervasive and infinite, how can he have a form? Okay, so this is one of the major attacks of the Sanatana Dharma. This is one of the major onslaughts that we hear about talking about how can the Supreme have a form if he is infinite. Our friends in the Catholic faith will say, yeah, we also accept that God is omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. But how can you accept that this one has got forms? He is so infinite. Don't go too far. Go to our own Vedic scriptures. If you go to Dayanand Saraswati of Arya Samaj, he has a similar argument. He would say space is all pervasive. Space does not have a form. Similarly, God is all pervasive. God does not have a form. That is his conclusion from Vedas of the Arya Samaj sect. Now, the reason why they give that is having a form is a limitation. God cannot have a form because he is limitless. That is the argument. So what is the view with the audience here? So we are actually combining our discussion and the class. So what is the view here? Can an infinite being have a form? What is your take?
Okay, Madhu, I have, these questions have come several times before in all our discussions. I have a very simple view. He is omnipotent, so he can do that. If he cannot do that, he cannot be omnipotent.
That is the perfect answer. Yeah. So that is the perfect answer. And that is the reason, Sudarshan, thank you very much. That is the reason to tell our friends, including our friends in the Arya Samaj, as to why we followers of the Sanatana Dharma or the Vedas actually feel that the Supreme has a form. Because our Rigveda Purusha Shukta has said, Sahasrapath. He has said he is Sahasrapath, and he is Sahasra Akshaha, and more importantly, Sahasra Shirshaha. He is all potent, he is omnipotent. So the argument there is, if I have an infinite being who is infinitely omnipotent, will he not have the potency to attain a limited form? Is the question. So our view would be, he is omnipotent, he is capable of doing anything. So although he is infinite, he is also capable of acquiring a finite form. And that is because the evidence of this is in the Purusha Shukta. So this is where we go to our evidence and say, that is why we believe the Supreme Being has a form. Now, that takes you to the next concept of Nirakara and Sakara. Yeah, so the same slide. So, Abhijit, you have to move to the next slide. So yeah, so when you have the omnipotence and form, then the question comes, is he Nirakara or Sakara? There's all these people battle around this in various discussions. Nirakara means he's got no form. Sakara means he's got form. Where is the confusion here? If as Sudarshan said, he's omnipotent and he has a form, the answer there is he's Nirakara, yes, because he doesn't have material form, because he's not made of matter. But he's Sakara because he's got a non-material form. He may not have a material form, but he's got a non-material form. That is why he is Sakara. So we say our Brahman is Nirakara and also Sakara for this reason. But he is not Nirakara because he is a Nirguna Brahman. So that concept actually falls down in that discussion. So when you take Ishavasya Upanishad, it says Ishavasyam idam sarvam. It says he is pervaded everywhere. Okay, so Taittiriya Upanishad is the answer for this also. When God creates, what did he do? So akamayat bahusyam prajayeti. We have discussed this before. Satapo atapyata, satapas taptva, idam sarvam asrujata, yadidam kincha tat srishtva tadeva anupravishata. So he creates and he also pervades and goes into everything. That is the greatness of the Supreme. So he is pervaded into every aspect of the universe. So if I have a Vigraha, I will still worship him as something who is pervaded into the Vigraha. In Gita chapter 9, there is a very famous verse. That is also an answer for this. He says, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. This is the same answer Krishna is given. Maya tatam idam sarvam. Tatam means I pervaded everywhere. Where? In the Jagat. So the question is, if he is all pervasive, how can he have a form? Krishna himself has had answered that. Avyakta murtina. Murti means what? Form. Avyakta means in a very unmanifested form, which means a non-material form is what my form is. So that is a direct answer to that question. HinduKnowledgeAcademy.com will celebrate Vedic culture and present its philosophies to the modern Hindu in an accessible format. Our ancient heritage is our greatest strength. Through preservation and dissemination, together let us spread positivity in the world. Thank you for listening and welcome to Hindu Knowledge Academy.